recommended fiscal year 2022 operating and capital budgets. This evening is designed so that the board can obtain the public input on the budget as opposed to a back and forth discussion. Board members will take what they hear tonight and formulate their thoughts and questions about the budget. Those questions will be posed to the superintendent and his staff at a budget workshop scheduled for Tuesday, January 19th. The workshop is open for the public to view, but no testimony will be taken. Before we begin, the board attorney has asked that I read the following statement. The Maryland Open Meetings Act, a state law, requires public meetings to be open to the public and to be held in places reasonably accessible to individuals who would like to attend these meetings. The virtual format of this meeting of the Board of Education is due to the COVID-19 emergency and is necessary in light of the serious health risks associated with public gatherings, as well as the governor's and county executives' various executive orders limiting public gatherings. While a virtual meeting of this type was not envisioned by the Open Meetings Act, steps have been taken to ensure that this virtual meeting includes alternate accessibility features that the Open Meetings Act Compliance Board and the court have reviewed and approved, broadcasting the meeting with video and audio on cable TV and on the web, and allowing written public comments to agenda items be filed with the board office and considered by the board. The board attorney has opined that the public access provided by this technology makes this virtual meeting reasonably accessible to the public and provides appropriate opportunity to observe the conduct of the board's public business consistent with prevailing best practices during this emergency situation, and therefore complies with the Open Meetings Act. This public hearing is being broadcast live on AACPS TV, which can be found on Channel 96 on Comcast and Broadstripe, and Channel 36 on Verizon. High definition broadcast can be seen on Channel 996 on Comcast, Channel 496 on Broadstripe, and Channel 1961 on Verizon. The meetings can also be viewed live on AACPS's YouTube channel, www.aacps.org/YouTube. This hearing is for the board to hear comment on the superintendent's recommended budget only. Comments must be limited to that topic. I will call on speakers in the order that they have signed up. If a speaker is unavailable at the time that I announce their name, I will move them to the bottom of the list and call them at the end of the hearing. Each speaker will be allotted 2 minutes, and Ms. Howe will announce when your time has expired. If you are unable to deliver your full 2 minutes to the board, you may email your comment to the board office at boardoffice@aacps.org. Speakers who speak tonight may not speak at the board's, I'm sorry, that was from Tuesday's introduction. Before I get to the list of speakers, we have with us tonight Helen Wilkerson, who is the president of the Secretaries and Assistants Association of Anne Arundel County. She will speak on behalf of her membership. Ms. Wilkerson, please go ahead.
Good afternoon. And yes, you finally got it right, Miss Ellis. In short, secretaries. And hello to everyone, and welcome to the new board members to Anne Arundel County Public Schools. Glad to see you here this year. We, the Secretaries Assistants Association of Anne Arundel County Public Schools, represent abundance of members. It's not just secretaries as the title placed. I'll just name a few of the positions that we represent. The technology support technicians, the administrative secretaries, receptionists, teacher assistants, behavioral specialists, teacher assistants, permanent subs, data clerk, vocational clerk, and a few other unnamed positions. So we are, and I'll say it again, the arteries of AACPS. Without us, a lot would not be going on. We're the ones who making sure that everything that you all need and all the teachers need to keep our school going and our students educated. We are very happy to be here this afternoon. And I'm making this very short and sweet. I have a lot to say except for that SAAC does not oppose Dr. Olato's recommended budget. We know if there is more to be given to us, we'd be more than happy to accept more than what has been suggested. We do have other things that we would like to be able to communicate and talk to you all about during our time when we will sitting down to negotiate. So just to make your evening light, thank you for the hard work that you Dr. Olato, and all those that work with you in creating that budget. And I must say, I loved your presentation, exactly, especially the end as we recognize our students as they move forward in society. Often it is not done. So we do want to say thank you for recognizing our students, and I'm sure there are many more. So that's pretty much what I have to say today. Let's go forward in this time of hardness and trial and error. We can only do the best that we can do, and I'm sure with your transparency that you will give and do the best you can do for all your hardworking employees. Thank you and have a great evening.
Thank you, Ms. Wilkerson. Next, I have India Oaks.
Good evening, India Oaks, Hillsmere Elementary. This year's budget is significantly impacted with COVID hitting our economy as much as our health. Yet COVID also is why it's critical to provide kids and teachers more support. In the proposed budget, AACPS needs 358 teachers to get class size down to 26 students or less. Yet it only asks for 129 additional teachers. We all hope for a full return to school buildings by next fall, but smaller classes might still be required for safety reasons. And so given we already are low in staffing, we need to hire as many additional teachers as possible, beyond the 129 cited, for both the short-term needs of COVID risk factors and long-term impact of students and teachers benefiting both academically and mentally from smaller class size. Additionally, given the trauma many kids faced the last 10 months with both COVID and racial injustice, we need to request more than the recommended 3 counselors, 1 psychologist, and 1.5 social workers. The same is true for non-English speaking students. We need more than just the additional 2 bilingual facilitators and 5 English language acquisition teachers, if we want to truly close that opportunity gap. And finally, but just as critical, we need to fund not just the 30 proposed special education positions, but as many special ed teachers, assistants, and support services as possible. Nothing, including COVID, justifies denying IEPs and 504 plans, and as I unfortunately say every year, our schools should not be on the verge of non-compliance of federal regulations year in and year out. Thank you.
Thank you. Kate Snyder.
Good evening. Good evening, President Ellis, Vice President Schalheim, Dr. Arlotto, and members of the board. My name is Kate Snyder. I am the Vice President of the Teachers Association of Anne Arundel County. I have worked in the county since 1998. I currently work at Mary Moss at J. Albert Adams Academy. Before I begin with my testimony on the budget, I would like to state for the record that Black lives matter. I need you to know how hard the educators are working during these overwhelming and trying times. My grandson is a Millersville Roadrunner, like his mom and his grandmom before him. I have had the opportunity to watch his online learning experience, and I must shout out his teacher, Miss Heath. Her poise, energy, and creativity is amazing to watch. Educators all over the county are finding some of the most inventive ways to get our students to engage in online learning. Their creativity is truly awesome. They do all of this with the stress of a worldwide pandemic looming over them, with worrying about family, friends, neighbors, and colleagues. They do all of this amidst criticism from many in the public. But our educators are heroes, giving Herculean efforts to do everything they can for our students and community. We deserve open and honest exchanges that match our value that we bring to the community. We are tired of the never-ending cycle of having to beg for the resources that we deserve. Looking at the budgets over the past 10 years, there have been unused surpluses in the wage categories year after year that are transferred to other items. The educators are the most important resource in the budget, and now is the time to make all educators whole. We have
Your time has expired.
Can you please summarize, Ms. Snyder?
Yes. I would like to say two things that we really need to work on: transparency, and I think it would be wonderful if we have serious conversations about moving to longer term contracts of 2 to 3 years in length. That way we can hear what the commitments have been at the table moving forward.
Thank you, Ms. Snyder. Next, I have Allison Heinz.
All right, thank you. Good evening. My name is Allison Heinz. I'm a fourth grade teacher here in AACPS, and I am tired. I'm tired of not being able to see my students, but I'm also tired of feeling expendable by my employer. I'm tired of working so hard to create a successful virtual environment for my students while the goalposts keep shifting. I'm tired of working through my lunch because it's impossible to get everything done otherwise. I'm tired of getting my students into a routine and then the routine completely changes. I'm tired of the public being told that I have input into any of these changes when I have not. I'm tired of the anxiety of wondering whether or not I'm going to have to go back to my classroom and endanger my immune-compromised spouse. I'm tired of having to explain to board members that Black lives do indeed matter. I'm tired of dysfunctional and inefficient Board of Education meetings that go on late into the night without accomplishing anything substantial. I'm tired of standing in front of you every year and begging just to have my years of experience in contract honored. I am exhausted of being told that I'm valued without being shown, because your actions are speaking more loudly than your words. So how can you help this very tired teacher? It would help if everyone was actually paying attention, because I'm noticing that some board members are texting while I'm speaking, and I'm actually very disappointed in that. So number one, please be more transparent with your budget discussions. This means being transparent publicly and at the bargaining table about the resources that are available. I want to know why AECPS historically doesn't use the full budget amount allocated for instructional salaries, but instead fills other budget gaps. Number two, give me and my amazing colleagues, people that are working harder than ever, a wage package that is equitable. It needs to address the pay inequities and be consistent with what our colleagues in neighboring counties earn. My steps should match my years of experience. My colleagues and I should be getting a cost of living increase that allows us to continue to live in this county. Number three.
Your time has expired.
Okay, I just have two more points that I'll summarize quickly. Stop trying to negotiate things out of our contract. Every year we have to fight to maintain language for our rights and benefits. If you really respect teachers, why would you do that? Number four, let me have a break from speaking at meetings. I'm sure you're sick of hearing my voice every year, so let's negotiate a good contract this year and shoot for longer term contracts of 2 to 3 years. So
Thank
please
you.
help this tired teacher get some rest. Thank you.
Thank you. Anthony Idoga.
Madam President, he is not signed in.
Maureen Lyokos.
Also not signed in.
Virginia Vastag.
Hi, good evening. I'm here as both a parent and a teacher. Our messages of unity and equity make our district a compassionate environment for educating children. Unfortunately, these concepts have not carried over into the budget. Anne Arundel County has failed to offer a fair and equitable salary to its experienced teachers. Many of us are significantly behind in steps, while those hired after us have been given drastically higher salaries. The tremendous disparity in pay is forcing experienced teachers to leave for neighboring counties where they will have access to equitable treatment. As a result, our county is constantly recruiting new teachers who often have fewer skills. Provisional teachers cannot provide the same level of instruction as veteran teachers. I am currently in my 14th year of teaching, but being paid on a step 7 steps behind. That's a loss of nearly $10,000 per year. I'm essentially working a year for free as a result of the cumulative effect over the years. Though I love my current position more than words can say, my choice to teach here has had an impact on my ability to provide for my family. I had 3 steps taken away immediately after I transferred in here in 2013. Then I had 2 more steps taken away and the salary restructure the next year. Finally, I lost more in the freeze and delays that followed. This is my 8th year in Anne Arundel County, and I'm on the same step as I should have been in my first year here. Yet teachers hired after me have salaries that match their years of experience. I have many coworkers with less experience making substantially more simply because they were hired after me. One of the most rewarding aspects of being a teacher is seeing the tremendous growth that students make each year. Well, teachers make significant growth each year as well. I'm constantly on a path of self-improvement, increasing my understanding and skills. My years of experience are an asset. I'm asking you to recognize those years and value me the way you value my newer colleagues. This year's budget provided a huge pay increase for provisional teachers, while veteran teachers started another year without a step increase. Please take action to retain your veteran teachers by restoring all teachers to their appropriate step. Thank you for your time and consideration this evening.
Thank you. Next, Mina Kim.
Good evening. I'm a member of TAC and a second grade teacher. Dr. Arlotto, thank you for your statement today regarding the domestic terrorist attack at the U.S. Capitol yesterday. Your closing statement read, "We must not and will not ever apologize for focusing our efforts on getting to a place where every single student we teach and every single adult we employ feels like they hold a place of value and respect, not just in our school system, but in our society. Cultivating value and respect is prioritized in our second grade classroom. While physically distancing, we're connecting with one another through honest conversations and treating everyone with respect, not only with our words, but also our actions. This has helped to create a sense of safety and belonging in spite of the increasing disconnects we're seeing in our society, like what we witnessed yesterday. As leaders in positions of power, you all create a sense of safety and belonging for us, AACPS staff. That means reaching an agreement with TAC on equitable, enforceable, and measurable safety protocols based on a needs assessment so that I can do my job with integrity and peace of mind, knowing that I'm cared for and valued by each of you, just as much as I care for and value each of the students. Unfortunately, there's been a lack of transparency as to why AACPS hasn't used the full budgeted amount for instructional salaries and instead has reallocated what you have deemed as surplus of our salaries to fill other budget gaps instead of making up salary back steps or compensating us, such as special educators, for going above and beyond our contracted work hours. In addition to our full-time as educators, we have to also fight for a contract every single year when neighboring counties have higher salaries with 2 to 3 year contracts. What the Board of Ed is currently doing doesn't feel like appreciation. It feels like an exploitation of our labor. I truly hope that the Board of Ed is able to achieve the reality of all means all while centering Black Lives Matter, which includes every single adult you employ, and demonstrate that you respect and value educators with this upcoming budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Janet Norman. Janet Norman, are you ready?
Yes. Good evening, President Alice, Vice President Schelheim, members of the board. Congratulations. This is your budget now to decide on. My name's Janet Norman. I'm a longtime volunteer and advocate for our schools and now president of the Annapolis High PTSA. If you're less familiar with Annapolis High, we have approximately 50 to 60% low-income students, 40% Hispanic, 30% Black, 30% white students, as well as other backgrounds. We have the most magnet programs and the most diversity in the county, as well as many challenges. Our PTSA came up with budget priorities that I conveyed to you last year, and since they have not been fulfilled, I'll convey them to you again this year. We need an additional social worker for our school of 2,100 students. Bates Middle School and Annapolis Middle School each have one social worker that do amazing things for our kids in need. Then those kids come to Annapolis High for 4 years and twice the caseload for one existing social worker. This, when you are advocating for mental health and wellness and all the things we need to have our students succeed, we need an additional social worker. That's just such a great, outstanding need. We need safe and healthy start times for all of our students and responsive transportation. We would not accept, I don't feel like being accountable or doing real progress from our students. Please don't accept it from your transportation department. Now is the time to make the changes and not have any more excuses or any more empty listening sessions where you're just checking a box. So I urge you, with the ways in which sleep deprivation affects our students of disadvantage even more, I urge you to take care of that this year and fix that. I would remind you of the CDC's graphic that reminds you that they perform poorly in school from not having enough sleep, risk and unhealthy risk behaviors, all the things you know about. So I would ask that you don't cherry pick the science, that you actually follow the science and get those transportation changes made in this budget.
Your time has expired.
Okay, we need adequate pay and start times for substitute teachers and teachers aid and teacher pay levels that don't drive our phenomenal teachers over to Montgomery County and Howard County. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Nicole Disney Bates.
This works. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, and probably my 2-year-old.
That's just brought a smile on my face. It's fine.
Yeah, she'll. Oh, here she comes. Okay. So good evening, Board of Education, Dr. Arlotto. Thank you for having me this evening. I am Nicole Bates, and I'm a special educator at Meade Middle. I've been in Anne Arundel County for 10 years. And every so often on Facebook, I'll find a post that says, teaching's your superpower, what's yours? Or better yet, stay calm, let the special educator handle it. And both honestly fit. Teaching special education is like having a superpower. And you should keep calm because you know what? Special educators, we will handle it. We handle so many things. And that's what makes our job absolutely awesome and unique. Special educators have tools in their toolbox to individualize lessons, to help their students succeed. We know how to conduct behavior analysis, analyze data, create a plan to support students with their behavior. We know how to take data, write IEPs. We know how to test students using formalized testing to determine academic strengths and weaknesses. And we love our students. We work hard for them. We do things that many, many educators will have never experienced in their entire career. But often it feels like we're kind of forgotten. We don't have a special planning time to take data. We don't have time to analyze it, to document it. We don't have a special planning time to write IEPs. We are also leaving the field at an alarming rate. The Learning Policy Institute in 2019 has found that special educators are leaving the field faster than their general education peers. And just in the past decade alone, the number of special educators dropped by over 17% across the nation. With that startling statistic, I come to you today to consider a stipend for the extra work that comes with working in special education. where additional tools are needed in our toolbox and additional responsibilities come with working in a field where passion, patience, and flexibility reign. Please show us that as the Board of Education, that you recognize our love, passion, and hard work. Provide us with a stipend for all that extra work we do. Thank you.
Thank you. Jessica Packler.
Did you call my name? I'm sorry, it went off, so I just want to.
I did.
Okay, sorry about that. Hi, my name is Jessica Packler. I'm a mom of 2 students at Eastport Elementary and 2 students at Annapolis Middle School, and PTA president actually at both of those schools. And I'm here to talk to you tonight about equity and the opportunity gap. And the budget is an important thing to solve the problems that we have with equity and with the opportunity gap. And I would also like to reiterate that Black Lives Matter, and that needs to be so important as you move forward. Teachers, we have to attract and more importantly retain our best teachers. We cannot do so if we do not fix the salary lag that was left from the 2009 recession. We have to fix the gap so that they can continue to work hard for all of our students, especially those in the opportunity gap. Our veteran teachers are the ones who know our schools and our students and have the experience needed for both our students and our community as a whole. They serve as mentors and leaders in addition to educators. Losing them because of solvable salary gaps directly affects the opportunity gap and our system as a whole, and it must be solved. Give them the steps they deserve for the good of all of the students, and make our school system a place where people want to teach. Make a school system a place where people want to come. Transportation, in terms of solving the opportunity gap, transportation is probably the easiest fix you can make, from later start times for high school students, age-appropriate start times for all students, and providing adequate transportation for all students who lack the family and community resources to make up for the school system's transportation gap, whether it's distance, access to before and after school education support, or extracurricular activities beyond just sports. This is important. Do what you promised to do a year ago. Make the changes needed for our transportation. Get us online, get us modern, make us what we need to be, make us whole and fix our transportation problem. Bilingual facilitators are incredibly important, particularly in the Annapolis cluster. Any school that has more than 25% families requiring bilingual assistance should have a bilingual facilitator at the school at the minimum of no less than 50% of the time. Additionally, an emphasis needs to be placed on hiring bilingual front office staff in all schools or training the existing ones in language assistance. No parent should show up at a school or call a school and not have somebody who understands and can let them in the door or answer the phone call and assist them. We need to reach out to all of our students. We need to reach out to all of our families. If we are going to be all means all, then we need to truly be all means all. And solving the problems with our teacher salary, with bilingual facilitation, with transportation, and all the other things that were brought up tonight. Thank you.
Your time has expired.
Thank you for listening to us, and please do what needs to be done for the best of our students.
Thank you. Sean Cronk.
Madam President, and not signed in.
Jared Demarinis.
Hello? Yes. Hi. I just wanted to say thank you for allowing me this opportunity to speak here, and congratulations to all of the new board members as well. My name is Jared Demarinis. I'm the president of the Rolling Knolls Civic Association near the Rolling Knolls Elementary School. We have a nice little community of about 250 homes in the community here, and also serve as I would say, a transfer station for bus routes in and out of to other schools in the county. With this is why I'm before you, and Ms. Tobin has made me aware of this meeting here. Thank you very much for that. Is a safety issue. There is an area in our community that kids have to traverse that is without a sidewalk. And it is the road is a high traffic area. It's a double yellow. And we've had numerous studies done there about how bad the volume of traffic is, because everyone has to come into the community to pick up their students at the Rolling Knolls Elementary School. Additionally, it is where all the buses come out of Rolling Knolls. The buses for transfer students are dropped off about a block and a half away from this, so that the bus route can go directly out of the community. It's a little circular route. Now, normally you would say that's not that bad, except for the fact that it is a high traffic area. Additionally, when there's snow or rain, the kids are not walking on the grass, they're walking in the middle of the road. And as such, it becomes a very safety issue for them. It's a small strip of land here that almost all the neighbors that are on that piece of property have no issues with it being having a sidewalk placed on their land at this point here. So it's important to know that the community is behind it. It's just waiting for it to be a dangerous event there. Additionally, because it comes on a curve and there's a little bit of a blind spot area from when people coming from the school up, there is no stop sign, and it's kind of a little bit of a hill that they don't necessarily see it. And if kids walk 2, 3 abreast, they're in the middle of the road. And it is a dangerous situation in which we would like to make sure that it's done.
Your time has expired.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to, there was a little bit of a site survey there, but we wish that the budget would include the sidewalk for the Rolling Knolls Elementary School for this little route that is only a block and a half long. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Holly Kleiderline.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, Dr. Arlotto, President Ellis, and board members. My name is Holly Kleiderline, and I am one of 2 school counselors at Oak Hill Elementary School in Severna Park. Thank you, Dr. Arlotto, for including steps and makeup steps in your proposed budget. I asked the board to fully fund these steps. Students who were in kindergarten when our salaries first rose have graduated high school, and we're still behind in pay. Thank you, Dr. Arlotto, for including more school counselors in your proposed budget. A few points for the board on this topic. There are no guidance counselors in AACPS. On October 28th, 2008, MSTE officially changed our title to school counselor. I've sent you a copy of that memo. Please use our correct title. It matters. I've provided you the research to prove it. I ask you to fully fund any proposed school counseling positions and to make it a priority to add positions with any additional funds found at the end of the budget cycle. Why? Due to state law, elementary school counselors teach lessons on drug awareness and prevention, specifically regarding fentanyl and other opioids, as well as sexual abuse prevention. School counselors are required to complete a graduate level course on suicide awareness and prevention each certification cycle. Unfortunately, my skills in that area are not rusty. I know all too well the application of that coursework. We're preparing to bring kindergartners into buildings they've never seen while helping 5th graders select middle school coursework virtually. We've taught daily lessons on coping strategies, social justice, drug awareness, and goal setting. And I believe some elementary school counselors still have over 600 students on their caseloads during a pandemic. I will know you're serious about student mental health when you recognize that returning to school buildings is not returning to normal. A classroom doesn't support mental wellness, people do. I also caution you on the serious legal and ethical issues of utilizing a universal mental health screening tool. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have Anthony Edoga?
We do not, ma'am. None of the 3 people whose names you called who weren't present
None of
before are signed.
Okay, then believe that concludes the testimony for tonight's hearing. Our next General board meeting will be January 20th at 6 p.m. Thank you all.